Airbus A320 family is one of the most successful aircraft series ever built. The newest version has a higher capacity than any other A320 and features an enormous range. This makes it the perfect 757 replacement. Let's have a closer look on Airbus' newest jet. Before we go into the details, support us by subscribing to the channel. Welcome to a new short documentary and talk on aviation life. I'm Nicholas and I'm very interested in Airbus' newest projects. At the moment, Airbus is doing great business. The aircraft manufacturer has thousands of orders placed on their most popular models, the A320, A330 and A350 families. All of them get more and more successful, especially the A320 family. The A320 has been built over 10,000 times and there are still 5,000 more ordered. Airbus can barely produce as many A320s as its customers want to buy. Today, Airbus offers the second generation, the A320neo, in several different versions. The maybe most insane version is the XLR. It combines an impressive range with the ability to seat more than 200 passengers and the economics of a modern twinjet. Let's start the video with a short history lesson. In 2014, Airbus announced to build a long-range version of the already existing A321neo. This version would be called A321 Long Range and have a range of 7,400 km compared to 6,800 km at the standard A321neo. Several years later, in 2018, Airbus revealed another version that extends the range again. What came out was the A321 XLR, which stands for Extended Long Range. It has a range of 8,700 km, which makes many transatlantic flights that previously required a wide-body aircraft possible. The XLR version has the same fuselage and wing measurements as the standard A321neo, with 44.5 meters in length, 35.8 meters in wingspan and 3.95 meters in fuselage diameter. These two types only separate each other in the details. The XLR has an additional fuel tank behind the wing box, which makes such a range even possible. Flights of over 8,000 kilometers, which take over 10 hours, bring their own difficulties. Passengers spend more time on the aircraft, so therefore more water is required on board. Also, the XLR has a weight of 101 tons, which makes several structural adjustments in airframe and landing gear necessary. The flaps are newly designed and now controlled by the flight computer, so the aircraft always flies in the most efficient way. The XLR also features a completely new system to control the rudder. In previous versions, it was moved mechanically via push rods, while it is now controlled electrically. This saves both room and weight. After several years of designing and construction, the A321 XLR with the registration Foxtrot Whiskey X-Ray Lima Romeo took to the skies for the very first time this year on June 15th in Hamburg. The flight turned out perfect and the XLR will be extensively tested in the next month. If not delayed, the first XLRs will be delivered in 2024. Until now, Airbus has already gained more than 500 orders for the extended long-range version of the A321. The XLR solves several problems we're having in today's aviation industry. Today, in 2022, the demand for flights and aircraft is lower than it ever has been in recent years. Huge airplanes like the A380 and 747 are retired quickly. These jets are just too big and inefficient for today's market. The demand for flights with over 500 seats is sinking more and more. That's why other, more modern jets as the Boeing Dreamliner, the A350 and A320 are getting more popular. Smaller twin jets are easier to fill for airlines and the maintenance costs are a lot lower. That's where the middle of the market becomes important. Middle of the market means an aircraft that's in its size class right in the middle between narrow and wide body. Middle of the market or short MOM jets usually have a capacity of 150 to 250 seats and 2 engines. They need to be capable to do both medium and long haul flights, so they usually have ranges between 4,000 and 10,000 kilometers. For the last decades, the Boeing 757 was maybe the best middle of the market jet, as there were over 1,000 of them built. The aviation industry simply lacked alternatives to the 757. Times have changed. The 757 has not been produced since 2004, so even the youngest aircraft are 18 years old today. Most 757s are a lot older. This leads to a problem. Airlines need a successor for the aging fleets of 757s. They don't really have many choices. The Boeing 737 MAX series may be a suitable alternative for some airlines, but for some other operators its range and size won't be enough. Boeing's next bigger aircraft is already the long-range Dreamliner. Its smallest version can usually seat 240 passengers and has a range of over 13,000 kilometers. This makes it only partially a middle-of-the-market aircraft. It's slightly too huge and expensive to operate. This leaves just one more aircraft, the Airbus A321 XLR. In its size and range, it's the best middle-of-the-market aircraft and successor for the Boeing 757 available on the market. The XLR is mainly designed to replace the Boeing 757, so here's a comparison between these two types of planes. The XLR has the same capacity of the 757-200 of 240 passengers, while the larger -300 can seat up to 290 passengers. The -200 has a range of 7,800 kilometers, the -300 6,400 kilometers, and the A321 XLR can fly 8,700 kilometers. This means the XLR has a greater range than all versions of the 757, while having a similar capacity as the smaller 757-200. This makes it the perfect aircraft to replace older 757s. Right now, Airbus has more than 500 orders for the XLR. This number will even grow in the next years, because there are more than 1,000 757s to replace. Additionally, the trend to use smaller planes on direct routes will lead to more A321 XLR orders. In the end, we can say that the XLR is definitely a success. Airbus did the right decisions to build such a plane. What do you think about it? Write your thoughts in the comments and follow the channel to miss no more videos just like this one.